I need it, like whatever the exposure, the acceptance value, like a lot of places. What I want to do actually is like a study, a baseline of like what kind of services people ask for, what are the dispositions on those services. Mostly it's going to be, well, I signed up and they told me don't call us, we'll call you, and then okay, so they've done all they can to try to receive services. Now, what about the flip side? What are the police doing to you? How many times have you been rolled out? How much money do you think you've lost? How often do you get rolled out a week? How do you get harassed? Do you get spotlighted? Do they try to tell you that you have to come out of your vehicle even if you don't? I mean, like just totally falsifying the law to you because they know what's best. And I'd like to be able to establish a baseline because the city and county, they just enter a partnership for a temporary shelter and a transitionary housing building. So that's going to be $8 million. Most of that money is going to go to the construction of the buildings. So the contractors are going to get paid. And then they say they'll have $1 million for operating expense of a couple of care providers. Well, so there goes all that money. And what exactly are we going to trickle down to help? Well, we're going to let you have overnight beds. How many people is it going to serve? 80 to 100 people. Okay, overnight means like during the day they're supposed to scatter, right? So where do they go? So we say we're going to help maybe 5% of the people, but we're only going to help them part-time. So are we really helping anybody? But we got a major ass sales pitch saying we're champions of the homeless. I mean, it's really, and yet they're still doing this. The sheriffs still come by almost every night, shining a light and telling them to get out of here, and arresting people left and right. That one lady, Monica, she's got some fire in her belly, She listened, I guess, and maybe I got her in trouble because I said you got to video these things with the cops, because the cops' words will get them in trouble, because they're saying stuff that's straight up illegal. The city would always tell people, why don't you go on the county line? Then nobody will bother you. But that's a lie. That's straight up. But, because they're like, where can I go? Where can I go? So then that way it won't, have this issue. And there is nowhere to go. You're trespassing because you're too poor and you'll never be You're unestablished and you're never supposed to become unestablished. Garbage shot. How come you haven't fell off the face of the earth yet? I mean, yeah, and that is the attitude that is the cop attitude that's allowed or encouraged. And yet they're going to turn around and say, we're just following orders.
No, this is the first time I've heard of, the Monterey mayor or Salinas mayor actually pushing people out through the buses. Tell me a little bit more about that. Is that fabricated? Or?
So there is a news article, and the mayor is I guess he submitted a story, the California printed it, where there was one or a set of people that came on the bus. He saw them at the transit center. The guy, I don't know how they struck up a conversation, but the guy told him that he came from Monterey, and the police put him on it, so he gave him $10 to go back to Monterey. And that's, like, oh, it's Monterey, I can't believe how horrible Monterey is. You better look at your own self. Because the reason why I noticed that story so well is because Salinas says the same thing very often. So, every time you point fingers, you got 3 coming back at you. So you better be sure of what you're saying.
It wasn't like a mass exodus of homeless population.
So you want to know about a mass exodus? How about Monterey and Seaside trying to shove out? Seaside actually did a no RV ordinance. Then they moved up to Marina. So now you got just a few people in 2 places, and now Seaside is pretty well clear, but now Marina's got twice as much. So of course everybody's like, oh my God, look at all these RVs, we got to do something about it. So they do. And they say no RVs at all within city limits. Again, Seaside to Marina. Now where do you go? Well, Lapis Road is a mile up out of town. And, it's coastal commission. So why not? They stayed there for a while. And oh my God, all these cars. Well, you just pushed everybody out of the peninsula proper. I mean, you keep on sweeping everybody from under the rug, and now you pull up the rug and go, oh my God, where did all these other people come from? You feel stupid?
they can end up coming here? Is that the case?
Yeah. But and they can spend money doing the cleanups. They can spend money for the cops. They can spend money for the landscaping. They spend money on the administration. Everybody else getting paid, and who's paying for it? Human suffering. Because why? Oh, we just don't like you. We don't like you at all. Open discrimination, but if we legislate it, then it's not discrimination, right?
Who's really going to challenge it? This is such a
exactly. Who's big enough to pick on you? No, of course not. You got Pebble Beach. It's a company. It's unincorporated. Nothing. It's a company. They can do whatever the hell they please, right? Because it's private property. Okay. Then you got Carmel. Carmel has got no numbers on their streets. It's all a name of a house. And then you got Monterey. Got your billionaires, your millionaires, and your 100,000ers. So as you guys, these concentric circles get away from me, they end up over here at the county seat. Lapis Road jumped onto Monte Road. This has been a 3-4 year endeavor. It's amazing how we have short-term memory loss so often. The news does the same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe there's a mass shooting. Hey, we just talked about this 3 months ago, and now you're acting like you never heard this before.
Yeah.
And we always end up in this cycle because it's about gaslighting. We ain't really hurting nobody. These people deserve to get rolled up. They're trash addicts. They're bums. They're criminals. They're thieves. They're drug addicts. Nothing good about these people whatsoever. And some, I assume, might be good people. They're people. They're poor. That's really what it comes down to.
And as I've been doing these interviews, for the most part, I've been getting the sentiment, just thank you for taking the time just to approach me and give my perspective on things. And for me, it's very humbling. Wow, nobody's ever tried to talk to you in this type of way or try to get your perspective on things. And it's just, I don't know, it's given me a new perspective on a lot of things. And it's just, yeah.
Good. Well, what is your premise or what is your thesis or what is this capstone project or?
No, this is actually just from my ethnography class, but seeing how much this impacts people, I want to at least give it to the city council or something, even if at least I'm trying to do something, But, yeah,
advocating for people and human rights. I mean, this is what it really comes down to is human rights. I mean, we're talking about civil rights, our civil liberties already, what we're supposed to have. And we legislate people's rights away. I mean, why fight for your rights if you're just going to give them away? And most of society is very comfortable doing that. A little, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet or whatever. So some people just deserve to, and that's what kind of attitude is that, man? I mean, so the cities already know. The city and the county already know, dude. And if they haven't known, I've been bringing it to their face every day, almost every week. And, obnoxiously so maybe, but at the same time it's because there's people hurting and they know they're hurting them. They know it. There's no way they can't know it, and yet they're still trying to make people believe that they don't know. And that sinister is what bothers me, because you can't tell me. Salinas passed their RV ordinance, RV van, oversized vehicles, and almost exclusively the CSO. You may have seen that one too. The CSO is like, hey, what are you looking for? Well, we're looking for anything that's oversized or if they might be actually living in it. And that was it. That was it. Registration or leaky fluids or if they might be living in it. Nothing about, the semis are oversized vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what they try to complain about. Oh, no, we're only interested in the buses and the trucks and even, work trucks, construction vehicles. We're worried about all of it. It's not, but then you see the whole presentation, about 3 dozen slides of RVs, and one picture of a bus, supposedly another picture of a bus, and then everything else RVs. But yet they're trying to say this is not a so there's application and on its face two unconstitutionalities of an ordinance. And it's unconstitutional on its face because it's trying to say that it's completely arbitrary and 7 foot and 20 foot, but yet they're not going after these work vehicles because people are working. They're not living in them because they're too poor to afford rent. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're targeting people. And as applied, there's no way around that. Because as applied, this is the only people they're going after and targeting are the people actually living. So now Salinas pushes them out. The county already pushed them out of Lapis Road. They even said, we cannot get rid of these people until after we have a safe parking program in place. Yeah. Because they already had one in the works and they were already trying to sell that anyway. So they got it, based on that. And now they can only go from 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. they got to be gone. So where do they go? I don't know. And it's exhausting. Any kind of routine is exhausting. And you want to be able to rest as much as possible in any routine.
Where do you feel like, since Salinas has implemented a lot of these policies, where do you feel like they're pushing the homeless to now?
Out of the county completely to another. But see, you have to have residency in a county before you can apply for services. 90 days or whatever residency requirement. And it's really the whole point of the game is to make sure everybody stays last place while we get ahead. And it's not right. It's not fair. It's not just. It's wholly improper. It shouldn't be legal. And yet, who's going to stop them? I mean, who's going to wash their dirty hands? We all got dirty hands. All these municipalities. Salinas is a charter city. County is a charter county. Monterey is a county city. Santa Cruz is a county city. Hollister County city or charter city. They're charters, right? So that means they're the biggest of the big brothers because they were here first. I mean, when California was declared a state, right? Monterey used to be the county seat, and then it said, we don't need all them bums over here. Go ahead, let's keep it. And that's food. We have a world-class destination along with Peninsula. I mean, it's been world-class, especially the Pebble Beach Pro-Am in the 60s. Solidified it for another couple generations. And that money maker, that whole workforce housing they did off the Spanish Bay, and that was a test run. And it's weird because now they own the property. You're paying rent back to them. You're buying food at the convenience store right there because it's right there.
Yeah. I
mean, they're getting 3/4 of their money back after giving it to you. So it's a pretty good workout. Santa Mira and Ansel doing the same thing. Sure, we need workforce housing. Sure, we need code enforcement. Now what they want to do is code enforcement on the housing. So if you have more than 2 person in a house, that's considered unsafe, unsound. But then how do you pay the rent? I mean, you didn't want all these people in the house, but you just needed to pay the rent. Yeah. And so you end up getting suckered in family of 6 or something, but they can pay the other half of the rent. So, but yet. They want to be code enforcing and doing all this micromanaging and obliterating and creating more homeless. Actually, is what it's going to do. It's going to destroy the working poor. Is really what that kind of ordinance, and that's actually on the books here this next time, November 6th. So it's scary. It's scary because if you got all that money, why are you being so good? Just hating on people because. Well, I only deserve to live here, and you don't. I mean, and we're actually getting sold out rather than sold up because people who have been living here, it's like the stove that's got it on a low burn, and the frog's in the pot, and you just kind of slowly turn up the heat, and it never jumps out.
Yeah. I have like kind of like survivor's remorse in a way. Survivor's guilt, as we call it. I'm back in Berkeley. I'm reading all this stuff that's going on, and it just breaks my heart.
Right. And what can you do? Well, anything you can do in every situation. I mean, if you got a kind, loving heart, generosity. For me, anyway, how I gain my strength is by seeing other people smile, and from that is kind of where their growth happens, and my growth. I'm not getting any money for it, but. So, but it's not about that. It's about growth for me. And if I can turn those role models, for good or bad, better or worse, whatever, they're still role models because they're the ones in charge of making decisions. And they need to be doing better and being concerned about people's lives. But they're not because it's about contracts. Well, landscapers who make money. This abandoned shopping cart thing is about offsetting charge, right? Because they're not going to stop their addiction of doing sweeps. Yeah. Like I said, the landscaper's getting paid, the cop's getting paid, the administration's getting paid. But, and what problem are we really solving? We're just moving it around, right? So are we really doing anything? We're not. It's an exercise in waste of money, basically. So we can overlord our view and feel better about oppressing people, because if we wanted to, we could regulate it better. We could say, as long as everything's organized and you're not doing drugs in front of us, then we'll just be mindful of traffic. But for the most part, you're not doing anything wrong. You just need to leave them alone. They too poor to afford rent, and that's it. You want to register them or whatever, let's do that. And kind of also register them both at the same time. Then, sign them for services. That is really the key. We always get told services are available, but they're never attainable. They're because in all reality, there's no capacity for anything. We've got no inventory for anybody. So what are you going to do with them? Well, let's just sell them the sales pitch of you just don't want services. Well, what do you have to be able to? Well, you got to be stone cold sober, which strangely enough, we spend $50, $150 for a 4-hour stint of a food and wine festival, so we can be drunk in public. So we'll gladly do that. Yeah. But yeah, we expect everybody to be stone cold sober if you want to be part of my program. Yeah. So we have these expectations that we don't role model in reality. Yeah. And that's really, and that's consumerism more than anything else. I mean, we got plenty of money, plenty of food, plenty of space. It's all a matter of cost and charge. Do we care about the person? Because like your family, if you care about somebody, you're going to take care of them, right? I love my kids. I love my family. I love my brother, my sister. If they lost their home, I'd let them move in with me, right? That's love, right? But if you don't know the person or you don't like the person, you're going to charge them. Because, hey, that's the way the world works. So we have two dichotomy of, thought process and then which one's winning, really.
I didn't think about it from the wine and cheese perspective. Because I've heard of housing first programs and things like that. And, it's not necessarily about getting sober or anything. It's just providing housing for them. And I always thought it was such bullshit to have these high expectations. You're addicted to drugs, you're alcoholic, and just for that to happen, to have such a minor thing and just affect your life, your personhood, the likelihood of you finding a job or anything like that. Yeah, it's such bullshit. Mm-hmm.
Well, because we have judgments made by that, right? Discriminatory judgments. Well, if you do drugs, you must be a thief. You must be a liar. You must be just the dirtiest, stinking person alive. And no, you gotta look at it a little deeper than that. But we don't treat people like people, so that's easy. Just.
Just a few questions.
Yeah.
How long have you been living in Salinas for?
I've been off and on since '84. I came here. My dad was in the Navy. Okay. So I was born in Virginia, grew up in Guam and Hawaii. San Diego was when I was 11, the first time coming to mainland. And I didn't like it. Too many people in too small an area, concrete jungle. I mean, I was barefoot, dirty dark tan, dirty blonde hair, and calloused feet because we tree climb and we were outside all the time. Yeah. And then moving over, it was just really. I stepped on glass when I first got here, and I just said, hey, never mind, I'm not going outside anymore. It kind of killed me for a lot of it. So I've been in Salinas for a summer, and then I came back in '90 for a semester, Salinas High, before it became portable prison high, and then I came back in 2000, stayed another 10 years, and then came back 6 years, and then came back in 2011. So off and on, that's true.
So I know this might have brushed up on it earlier, but there was a recent spike in the homelessness from I think it was 2015. Do you have any ideas on why that occurred?
Oh gosh, well I would almost imagine there's multiple factors, but I would imagine one of the largest ones being peninsula driven to the county seat because the tourism is not going to accept it, and the South County also has the old point of Chinatown in the 80s after the bars and the restaurants started closing. It became a dumping ground for anybody from South County that didn't want somebody. Go dump them in Chinatown. Anybody from Me Memorial or Salinas Natividad, any county facility, you need to discharge them, dump them in Chinatown, and that really is one of the reasons why Chinatown started becoming bigger like that. In 2015, when we did our federal lawsuit, they had just put up an iron rod fence around the last vacant lot. So, and then they also passed an ordinance saying nobody's allowed on the sidewalk either. So they blacked out the whole checkerboard and then say you ain't allowed even on the free space. So where are you supposed to go? Nowhere. Obviously, you're automatically a criminal because they legislated you to be a criminal. And it's all money based. We know the root causes and issues, but we just refuse to deal with them. We'd rather just outright reject. And that is almost a parenting role straight off the top. And how they were treated when they were kids is, hey, I got beat up when I was a kid, and look at me, I turned out fine. I mean, it's just a cycle. And that's kind of where we're at. This video camera may be about the only thing that really gives us a good mirror to look at. Counter deniability has been 9/10 of the law, and that's actually what everything is predicated on. I mean, who's gonna get me in trouble? What, the state's gonna come all the way down? You see every other city doing the same thing. You're gonna have to get everybody. Yeah. So nobody's gonna get you. I mean, they're the biggest brothers around.
Just from recent ordinances that have passed recently, what's some of the differential treatment that you've maybe anybody's experienced that you know of from the police?
Even before that RV ordinance went into effect, and it's a city council meeting too. A lady came and she talked about cop came, knocked on the door, and then tried to get in. And she's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And he's, I'm looking for this person. And she's like, "Well, why are you trying to get in there?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to get this person." And but he didn't have a warrant, nothing like that. But this is what I'm keep trying to tell people. They got a video, man, because I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but I'm sick of it. And if what needs to happen is a consequence, then the city and county need it. Because they're doing straight up illegal stuff. And they've always done this. This is why it's allowed or encouraged. They know what's going on, and they know the game face and the sales pitch they need to put. And so they do duplicitous, and they're still not remorseful. They're not bashful either, and that's what's really frustrating more than anything else. Because like Chinatown, the rookies would come, they try to pull people out of their tents. That's already invasion of privacy. You can't do that. If it's already done, you ain't got a warrant, you got no business. Where's your probable cause? What crime? Seriously, what? No, well, we just want to run your name more than anything else. And they do this on the daily, because when you're downtime, they're talking about violent crime. A couple years ago, right? In 2014, there was 6 officer shootings. Okay, you don't think that might have had anything to do? They call it all gang crime, right? Violent crime. Well, we don't have time to deal with anything else but the high priority calls. Well, now a couple years later, they ain't got no high priority calls or violent crime. It's all about code enforcement, and that's because you ain't never had nothing to do anyway. It's always been a sales pitch. I've seen 5-7 officers in the same place walk by, and they're talking about the game. And that's what their life revolves around half the time. Well, another good bust. All that team play stuff. I mean, but are we really worried about justice? I don't know. I think it's more about law enforcement and being right because we're the team. And yet you're still going to perpetuate all this unconstitutionalness on top of that? Well, what they don't know won't hurt me. And that's, how can you say it's not allowed or encouraged? Because out of all these anecdotal things, I've got a pattern. I've got a clear-cut pattern with the state, with the sheriffs and the city, mainly the city.
What do you think? What resources do you think are necessary right now in the media? If say if you're in charge and all that, what would you immediately do, resource-wise? If
I was to, I did try to run for mayor for a minute, and if other dude wouldn't have jumped in, I think I probably could have took it. Because I just want to treat people like people. I mean, seriously, we don't even need to spend any money on them. We need to stop spending money earning them. We'd save money right there, dude, off the top. So then implement the ordinance of good neighbor policy. All your stuff's organized, and you ain't doing drugs in front of them. I don't see any stolen property. And most of the ones that are doing good will continue doing good, and the ones that are not doing good will get themselves sore-thumbed, and they'll be very noticeable and very easily tracked. I mean, if we can let people settle in places, right, where they're already at, and I'm a sub, so I'm all about a seating chart type of deal, right? And get them assessed and everything. That way I can nail them, and of course get picture ID or whatever with it. I'm looking at trying to do card carrying union membership, even without ID. But you know, the face would make them a real member rather than just being protected by it. You know, and those kind of role models. But see, it's got to be sanctioned on top of that. I mean, these people already did a straight road. They picked up all the garbage that mattress is new, and this stuff is new. But we did all this stuff last week. There's always the truckers also done shit. So do the businesses, you'd be surprised at how much crap they garbage. And even the community, they'll come in their garbage over in Chinatown and fill up the dumpster just as soon as they empty it.
Wow.
You know, and it's an offset of charge for somebody else. But it's not, and it makes Chinatown look bad because, they never clean up after themselves. It's the community coming in and making them look bad. You know, and there's video footage of that, but we ain't going to go after those people because they're house already. We're going to pick on the homeless people. They're easier targets. Yeah. You always go pick on little people. You do that, jobs do this on a daily. Every supervisor knows how to pick on their subordinates. You know? It's amazing how much politics there is. But establishing safe campsites and RVs, some basic rules. I mean, the flagpole rules I give you. You know, and they're witty and they're supposed to be somewhat humorous, so then people don't take it too serious. Yeah. But actually, everybody knows. I mean, shit, it's the same stuff that you learn in kindergarten. And what's really frustrating is the people in charge ain't acting like that at all. So they're supposed to be the teacher.
Sorry, just one last question.
Yeah, please.
Actually, might be a few more.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you I've been distracted.
No, it's okay. So just generally, I know there's like Dorothy's Kitchens and things of those sorts. But what other resources have been offered by the city?
The city doesn't want to offer any resources. They don't take care of people. The county does. The county has a continuum of care. There are service providers, interim, community homeless solutions, and another really big one would be Dorothy's, the Victory Mission. Those are big ones I can think of off the top. Salinas Tent City is a nonprofit that kind of they go around to the surrounding campsites. Most of what I just said is more like you've got to go inside to their office and be connected with services. They don't really do any field rep stuff because they don't have the budget for it or something. And I think ultimately is because they already know the answers they don't want to find. Which is why they don't do it. Which is why I'm still trying to establish a baseline. But it's got to be something acceptable. That they can't refute. Housing resource center is another one. There's a lot of these places have like transitional housing. So they have there again with the drugs and the mental illness. The only reason they really focus on those two is because that's how they can get paid. They can pay for people with mental illness, or they can get paid for people trying to get sober, right? Otherwise, you're just fine and they ain't got nothing for you. And that is what really kills me because we got vets, right? The sacred cows. We got we got these specialized communities or populations that we wish to deal with, and everybody else we just ain't got the time, money, effort, energy, desire to even worry about. Just these three people will be playing. I mean, it's too short-sighted. And there again, these nonprofits, they're like, well, we ain't gonna advocate for our clients because we've got our set and that's all we need. We need to advocate for the general population because that might inhibit our funding because you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. The city and the county is going to be two of the biggest contributors because of the programs that are offered through that continuum of care services, and that's federally, and so we're all partners in this. But the biggest partners and the best role models are actually the most jerky and abusive, because the cities and the counties that are basically creating the box that everybody has to play in, right? And as the system continues to tweak its rules to hurt people, those service providers just and to me that's the most major disservice of all, because you're gonna smile. Oh, I'm helping you. Sorry, that wasn't me. That was the county.
Yeah, wipe the hands clean.
Yeah. I mean, it's vicious, especially the sheriffs coming out here almost every day. They're harassing people, and that's harassment because it's like college hazing. You know, because they ain't got no. They put orange sticker on some vehicles. They never towed them, but yet they continue to harass every other day at least. And I don't see how that's legal. And until it gets litigated, and you got to have someone strong enough to do that. I'd have to have an actual attorney. Prince is an attorney, but he's also spread thin between like 4 or 5 other lawsuits already. So, but if we got this up, then I'm sure he'd make time. But we got to have something solid enough, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. They got to get evidence, because practice what you preach, or don't tell me that. Because basically the city's saying one thing but doing the opposite, and it's all it's too hidden. And that's why I jump around with the camera all the time, because I've caught them in the act a couple times. And they change their tone and their tune real quick. And it's amazing what I've thwarted even. I mean, the sheriffs came out to Monterey, and they told everybody, oh, we're going to come here on the Wednesday, and we're going to give everybody a piece of paper, kind of formally notifying you that you got 3 days to go, and if you're still here, then we'll give you a ticket, and we'll tow the vehicle, and, so just leave, right? Well, then they come, and I'm trying to video the thing, and they won't let me video. So I end up going to the next site and try to get on that before they start, and they still wouldn't let me go in. So I'm like, hey Robert, why don't you come on down over here? So apparently they don't want me to hear what they have to say, and I've been trying to get him to come over, and they're down there, and he's like, the cop's like, that's it, he's going to jail. And he came running up to me all huffing and puffing. Wow. And he's like, and I'm like, hey dude, I'm just trying to protect my friend's rights. It's constitutional rights, because and so he just walked off. But the next one after that, they just blew by, because there was one more campsite to go with like 3 or 4 RVs, and they just blew by because I don't know why this camera just scares, they think they're gonna steal their soul or something, which may be the case, because it is a window to your soul. And that dude's attitude is total color of authority. He ends up challenging me. He goes back, and he comes back over, and he circles my car. Wow. Taking pictures, everything, and he comes back. Oh, your registration is expired. And I'm like, dude, I can't help DMV. DMV does what they want when they want, and I'm not gonna, Go ahead, give me a ticket. You want to give me a ticket? Go ahead, because I'll take that shit to court. Yeah. And I think he kind of knew he was already overstepping his color of authority. And I think that's probably why they skipped on the last one. It's disappointing, because you're trying to be reasonable with people, but they're the ultimate authority, and what they say goes. And if they're going to hurt people, there should be a consequence for that.
Yeah, great. I guess this one last question. How often do police come through to this area, or the Chinatown area in general?
So there's a good 30, 40, 50 campsites around the city already, not just Chinatown, not just here. A lot of RVs are in parking lots, because they can't be on city streets at all. That's why this is a haven, because it's just right on the county line. So how often does it happen? It happens, the CSOs actually, the city is now outsourced an awful lot. So CSOs, and there's parking enforcement, and between those two, they got eagle eyes everywhere. And so a constant basis. People are being poked and prodded. Chinatown's about the only place. There was some campsites along 101, just north of North Main. And dude never noticed anybody, nothing. He took out everybody's campsites. Dude, the first thing in the morning, he got not even the CHP. Hey, you got 5 minutes, and then he took his spikes on the way down. Wow. Yeah, dude. Now you got no transpo to get out of there. And so how do you do that? Now you got to buy another, because everybody got stolen from. And then I go to the opposite side of the street, and I try to talk to the Caltrain guy in charge. CHP blocks me, won't let me, talk to him. And then they leave, and there's a whole, because they got the bulldozer, and they push the bushes back, right, to clear it all out, or whatever, clean it up. Well, as they push all that stuff back, there's a suitcase full of clean clothes in there, all folded up that we found later. You know, and it's like they had no regard. No regard. They left all the trash behind. This is what really bothers me. They left all the trash behind, but they took everything of value. Yeah. And yet they're going to say, oh, well, the bums leave all the garbage. That's why we're here. We're cleaning up. But no, they're there to steal. They're there to steal the most important, valuable things.
And you know, I actually just went on their website, the City of Salinas website, and it's like the first thing they say is it's a sanitary issue. You know, it's all this stuff, and the fact that they're not even cleaning this up afterwards, and that's their justification for it. Then why are they doing it?
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, it's harassment. I mean, you know, it's to teach you a lesson. Go to work. Go to work. Stop doing drugs. Yeah, we're going to another wine festival tonight. You know, I mean.
Or they have the beer fest, Oktoberfest, you know. Just
yeah. Almost every night there's some kind of beer or wine and whatever, right? There's almost every week. I mean, you know, we're junkies. Just admit it, we're junkies. Every doctor was doing every drug imaginable. Morphine, you know, was one of their favorites. So it's like, what are you doing? I mean, come on, dude. Just grow up already. You know, it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. Just keep people stupid. You know, I mean, we're individual and unique for a reason. All we're trying to do now is nationalize everything and make everything so stereotypical. It's not, and how are we doing it? Well, by destroying other people's lives. That's about the only way it can happen. You sure I kind of run through all your questions already?
No, that was all I had so far. We at least like brushed on it at one point or another in the other conversation as well. So I don't want to repeat anything too much.
Okay.
No, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you taking the time. Sorry if I've been bombarding you with phone calls.
I didn't even know that was the first time I noticed a contact.
Oh, okay.
So if you'd been trying to reach out to me, I'm sorry I hadn't done anything earlier than that.
I was like, I'll just give it one last shot, you know, on Facebook.
Well, good. I'm glad you did. You know, and all kinds of notoriety is what we need. I mean, seriously, any positive exposure to this situation, which is in the city and county's control and always has been. The solutions, there's no reason to come up with solutions. They already know what the solutions are. They just refuse to do it. I mean, you know, the Rodeo grounds has 2 weeks worth of use in a year. And you know, other than that, they do some special events, and now they got flea market going. But they got this whole RV lot in the back. Electricity, sewer, water hookups, already available. You know, we could charge people even. Charge them some rent. But we refuse to. We're not interested. We're not interested in helping, but we certainly can make money by hurting them.
No, I've heard of some of these safe parking programs, but in other cities, I can't think off the top of my head right now. But the big issue was it's a private, you know, like it's a private company. They don't want to take responsibility for any damages or anything that may happen on there. Has that been an issue here as well?
Yeah, no, liability is always an issue, sure, and it becomes one of the easiest excuses too. Yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, the state owns that property on the other side of the turnaround. And there again, it's state property. Hey, there's already a solution. You know, it's property nobody got to buy because you already own it. I mean, you know, but it's permission is what the real big deal is. It's permission. So the liability is secondary. You know, I mean, it's the will, the political will. Yeah, that's really, it's more an excuse. If they've used it, it's more as an excuse. You know, I mean, like they had a 20 West Market used to be the Sizzler or the All U.S. Bank, and it turned into a warming shelter for a little bit. And during that time, there's a video for that too. It was April 30. Luis Alejo tried to get an extension month to month, all the way until November. You know, just keep it for the rest of the year. And they're like, no, we're gonna demolish it. Well, they just demolished it a couple weeks ago, and that's like a year and a half later. Yet they said it was imminent at the time. You know, because it was offset. It was just like, no, we just have to find a reason to say no. Yeah. You know, and what was really heartbreaking about that, the board member that made the motion, he said, I've been homeless. 17 years ago I was homeless, so I know better than anybody. And yet he's so callous. He's like, and I think they should get a 30-day drop dead agreement. Not a day more. No more extensions, nothing. But 30-day drop dead agreement for a homeless shelter with all these homeless people trying to ask, please keep it open. And he's just saying, no, drop dead.
You think somebody who's had those experiences would actually be more sympathetic or anything like that?
Exactly. Yeah, but see, this is the powers that be, and they're just so duplicitous. It's more than frustrating. It should be illegal, and because they're hurting people's lives, they're affecting people's lives, and it's all about that money, right? Sell people out rather than up. Yeah. We got a new growth area coming in. Ruggie Road, the new high school.
Yeah.
So that whole field area is going to get filled in with like 1,100 homes. $750 to start. $750,000. Who's going to be able to move in?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Right. Well, because there again, people from Morgan Hill and Gilroy, they won't mind the extra half-hour commute for a little bit bigger house and a little bit more yard. They won't mind it. So then we sell out to those guys. And what do? They go, oh my God, I can't stand the traffic around here. I wish you'd get rid of some people. Well, good thing we're doing our code enforcement ordinance already.
Yeah.
It's amazing what kind of cycle perpetuation that we're going for. And if it really comes down to that, you want to know who has more power? Not the elected. Is going to be your city manager and your county CAO, chief accounting officer, something like that. But that's your general manager. And between them and the attorney, they're the ones who really do most of the work. Because they're the only two employees hired by the city, and likely for the county as well. They're the ones that really hold all the cards. I mean, they do transitions of administrations from one elected to the next, and they become almost J. Edgar Hoover status. Serious, though. It's amazing. The city has a priority-based budgeting. Well, you know what that means? We can obfuscate how our money is spent even more, because it's not a line item anymore. It's priority-based.
So just from your experiences, how has that business influenced the situation?
So I think we got a dichotomy there too, because small businesses can't even really apply for a permit to get established, because they block just about everybody, because it's about keeping a monopoly or at least as many large players as you can, because that's our friend crowd already. And then the rest of the businesses either don't care or don't like. It's hard to care. It really is, because then you're giving something, and what if that something isn't valued and appreciated? What if it's totally, you still done wrong even after giving? It's a negative experience. So either you're not going to care, or you're going to have one or two negative experiences, and you're going to exponentiate that to everybody, right? And that's stereotyping. But we love that. That's one of the funnest things we do. And a couple years ago, a few years back, 2015, 14, 16, somewhere in there, probably 14 maybe, there was a business owner in Old Town, and he took a bat to a dude that was loaded on heroin. He was sick of the dude being there, and he just bludgeoned him almost to death. And the city center's reaction to that at Christmas was a pretty jovial joke about why don't we get a baseball bat for everybody and put it in everybody's stocking?
They said that?
As a joke, walking by, but by two of the key Old Town Salinas board members. And, you're like, wow, dude, wow. Really? Because this is how they think and act. They don't care. We got a penchant for hate. We really do. We enjoy it. We enjoy hating people. It's easy to reject, real easy, especially if you're already born into it. We do that. We don't have time, effort, energy for everybody, especially our no good nephew or uncle or whatever, that good for nothing. We don't have time for everybody, of course not. Even the people that are our family. But we just need to model better behavior. We've got a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah, to say the least.
Right? Well, we're picking on people. Who's getting paid? The cops are getting paid $25, $30 an hour to do what? To do what, man? For reals, these people are dirt poor. Well, I earn that much more money, so I'm right. Because of what? A trespassing. Of all the petty things to come after a person for. But then what about a violent crime. Well, we got to keep our jails full, you know. You just need to follow the law. One of these things.
I appreciate you taking the time, though.
Yeah, good to meet you, man.
Maybe if if I needed more information, you think I'd be able to contact you again? Maybe like
Sure.
2 weeks or so.
Sure. Yeah. Well, if you need more anecdotes from other experiences or something, I could probably get you both with it.
Actually, yeah, I really appreciate that.
Okay.
You think the gentleman over here in the review would mind if I did an interview with him?
I don't think so. I think that they haven't even left yet, so I think they're just going to goof off all day. Yeah, no. And you can tell he was rather talkative, right?